Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today I want to go through some 9.8s I would be buying if I didn't have them in my collection already. And you know what? I want to go through one that I think I'm going to sell. Yeah, you know what? I really haven't sold any 9.8 comics in the last like 5 years or so doing this whole thing. So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to walk through that one. So yeah, let's get to the few that I would be buying if I didn't have them in my collection. First one, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51. This one is the first appearance of Jennika, which is one of those kind of modern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle key issues to target, I think. And there's kind of a lack of key issues in the modern age for Turtle comics. And, you know, I think TMNT 51 fits the bill. For sure. It's got a great cover. I really like this cover. I guess Jennika's not on the cover. She's not a Ninja Turtle yet in this story. She's kind of a Foot Clan soldier that Splinter kind of takes her under his wing and starts teaching her like ninja ways and stuff like that. Like honorable ninja ways, I guess. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51, one to target with that big first appearance. 297 9.8s in a blue label. A 1 of 297. I think for this one, you know, when it came out, like nobody really knew that it was a big first appearance or anything like that. So probably a little bit low printed, and you know, a 1 of 297 is a pretty great collector item. 62.8%, the 9.8 ratio. And I think a pretty good price is right around that 175 range on this one. I saw one sell on eBay for like 200 or best offer. Not too long ago, one sold for straight up 200 as well. So, but, you know, I think you get lucky on this one. You might get it pretty close to 150 in this kind of shabby market, to be honest. Yeah, the comic book market seems to be cooling down. So, you know, 150 to 200, let's call it, on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51 in a 9.8. Next one is just a classic no-brainer that's worth highlighting because all these kind of Venom and Black costume books are really cooling down, I think, and it's a good time to buy them. An Amazing Spider-Man 316. Yeah, like the Todd McFarlane Venom cover to absolutely want. Yeah, it's just so wantable. Like, yeah, it's maybe not a key. It's kind of the first full Venom cover. But this is just one to want. And yeah, sometimes the best books maybe aren't key issues, but they're just so cool that all these collectors want them. And this is on that list for sure. Pretty great collector item. And yeah, like I said, you know, we're a year or two after like the last Venom movie, so during those movies probably wasn't the best time to get a great deal on Venom key issues, just because the movies have a lot of promotion that goes along with them, and then a lot of noobs kind of get into it and end up, you know, overpaying a little bit, or they just don't know about the price history. But we're on the other side of that now, a year or two after the movies. So yeah, Venom and Black costume keys are making sense. So like I talked recently about an Amazing Spider-Man 300, and I always talk about an Amazing Spider-Man 252. Those ones are great as well, but we'll focus on 316 today. 1,701 in a 9.8. Quite a few in the signature series. Yeah, Todd does a lot of signature events. 18.4%, the 9.8 ratio, which is ticking down over time. Yeah, this used to be around the 25% or so 9.8 ratio or percentage when I got into things like 4 or 5 years ago. So ticking down over time. A recent price, $475, which is a great price, I think. Also saw one go for $490 and $500 even. Yeah, so $475 to $500 I think is a really good deal for a great looking Amazing Spider-Man 316. And these I think were over 1,000 during the pandemic and through all those movies, so yeah, just such a better time to think about that one. Same deal on the next one, a Star Wars 42. Big Star Wars key issue. First appearance of Boba Fett in comic books and some of the bounty hunters. This one's first full appearance of Yoda too, which I kind of think is not discussed enough about this one. Great first appearances, big key issue. Saw a recent price. This one's cooling down a lot, and you know, same deal. We're on the other end of that Boba Fett show, so the timing's right on this one. Yeah, it's a big no-brainer Star Wars key issue. 468 9.8s in a blue label, pretty great. 1 of 468, less than 500 of them. 7.2%, the 9.8 ratio. This is a 1980 book. solid 9.8 percentage. So a newsstand recently sold on eBay for $1,527. 1,527. Yeah, wow. Not too long ago, probably about 2 months ago, one on eBay went for $2,000. So this one has cooled down in the last few months even a little bit more. The direct edition, I have the direct edition in an old case. You might be able to get the direct around $1,000 now, I think. Yeah, maybe a little bit over is worth it, 1,100 or so, if you're considering the direct edition for Star Wars 42. Yeah, this one has just cooled down so much, and I think the timing's really great on it. Yeah, you can absolutely consider a Star Wars 42 during the pandemic and the lead up to that Boba Fett movie. Like, the newsstands were, I think, $5,000. Now they're $1,527. Yeah, just a cooling down kind of no-brainer key issue that I think you want to get in there on. So next one, interesting, Uncanny X-Men 221. First appearance of Mr. Sinister. Not the best cover on this one. Kind of on the other end of that, like 316 is just so wantable because the cover is amazing. This one, it's got the big first appearance, but you know, kind of maybe not as wantable with the underwhelming cover, I think. But this one has cooled down so much, and Mr. Sinister was in a lot of the new comic books, and I think that's just kind of cooled down. And even the speculation that he could be in the MCU, a new X-Men movie, or you know, possibly maybe making an appearance in Deadpool 3 with Wolverine being in that one. This one's cooled right down, but maybe it's kind of worth a spec right now, because if he does get into the MCU movies, this one will be a lot higher, I think, in price than what they're going for right now. So there's 1,925 in a 9.8, 24.6%, the 9.8 ratio. So I would sell on Comic Link. If you can get this price, I think it's kind of the price to aim for. $201, someone go for. Yeah, that's great. And a couple weeks ago on eBay, $280. So yeah, I think this one just in the last month or so is cooling down even a little bit more. Closer to that 200 is just making so much sense, I think. Yeah, it's not maybe the greatest 9.8, but you still get that big first appearance. And also consider Uncanny X-Men 239. That is the first cover appearance of Mr. Sinister. A little more wantable on that one, definitely in the more wantable category with the great classic Mr. Sinister cover. And its second overall appearance of Mr. Sinister on 239. So both of these, and I think 239 went on Comic Link for $150, and that's kind of a price to aim for on 239. Yeah, they're both kind of wantable because one's the big first appearance and the other's the awesome cover. So definitely two to consider there. Next one's a Batman 404. Yeah, I got two of these in a 9.8 and CGC 9.8, and I got a CBCS 9.8 of this one too. Yeah, this is one Year one story is such a great read. Yeah, this is one I targeted when I first got into things in kind of 2018 and 2019. Pretty solid collector item, $814, 9.8. It's a really good affordable one. This one is 24.7% is the 9.8 ratio. $182.50. I saw one sell recently, which is kind of in the middle of the fair value range for this one. I think that's, you know, you might get lucky, get a little closer to 150. Maybe it won't look that good, or maybe not the best centering on it, but yeah, we'll call it kind of 150 to 200, depending on how great it looks. This one looked pretty solid, I think. Pretty solid centering on it. It was on eBay. 182.50 that sale. So yeah, if you're a big Batman fan, that's just a great affordable one, to be honest. You almost just can't go wrong. Classic Frank Miller story. And it's yeah, first modern appearance of Catwoman. Oh yeah, I brought my notes, sorry. Yeah, have a look at one of mine anyway. CGC 9.8. So, the book that I am considering selling is a Wolverine 88. So, one of the reasons I want to sell one of these is because I have three of them. It is one I kind of picked up at much cheaper prices. It was one of my kind of underrated, underfollowed 1990s 9.8s that I kind of targeted in the first few years of the channel. I recommended it quite a bit, and it was one that I was buying at that time as well. But now you got all those Deadpool or Wolverine and Deadpool are absolutely going to fight in that Deadpool 3 movie that's going to be out eventually. And the prices are pretty high on this one, and it's just, you know, if we've learned anything, like, from that Star Wars 42 book. That book was so hot during the Boba Fett series. The symbiote books and the Black Costume books were hot leading up to Let There Be Carnage. You know, those were great times to sell for those books. So another one of the reasons for myself on this one is one of my copies is kind of marginal. It pretty much has like a little bit of a spine roll almost. My suspicion is that it was pressed, and then over time, like sometimes the pressing doesn't completely keep it flat forever kind of deal. And you know, it probably originally had a bit of a spine roll before it was pressed, but then it got a 9.8, but then the pressing kind of falls off after a while. So yeah, I just kind of noticed a little bit of a spine roll on one of the copies that I have. And there's actually kind of like little Newton rings along the spine too, which I think is kind of shows that, yeah, the spine is just rolling up slightly. It's slight. It's not, you know, you don't see it and go, oh my God, this is a spine rolled 9.8. But very slight. But I think I'm going to throw that one up for an auction on eBay. I'm not going to promote it through the channel because to me it's kind of a marginal 9.8. So, you know, I'm just going to throw it up on eBay and see how much it goes for. And I'm not in a rush. You know, I don't think with the writer's strike and everything like that, I don't think that movie's coming out anytime soon. But recent prices, $312 and $405 was like a recent sale that kind of looked like in the scans, the slab looked really kind of beat up a bit, and it went for $405. So that's what kind of made me think like, wow, you know, if a marginal one's going for about $400 US, maybe I should just get rid of my marginal one. So I might end up doing that in the next few months here. On the Census, there's 468 in the 9.8 in the deluxe edition. When I was buying mine, there was only one part of the Census. So the first part of the Census, I think there's like 160 of them in a 9.8 or something like that. Some of those are the deluxe edition, some of those are non-deluxe because they didn't separate it. You know, I think in 2018 and 2019, there was only one portion of the Census. In 2020, they started separating the deluxe edition, which is most of them. That's the more common one. The non-deluxe is the kind of the tougher one to get. So the Census is a bit weird on this one, but 468 on the deluxe edition portion of the Census. 20.9% is the 9.8 ratio. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to like promote it through the channel or anything like that. But I think in the next few months, I'm going to throw up my sort of least favorite Wolverine 88, and I'll still have two of them, and I'm very happy with that. And so yeah, it's kind of a bit of a personal situation. Like I have three of them, and one's kind of marginal, so I might as well get rid of it while, you know, the promo's hot and everything like that. So it just kind of makes sense. Okay, so yeah, short list of some ones that I would be buying if I didn't have them in my collection. Luckily, I do have all of them, and one that I'm looking to sell. Yeah, which is kind of weird for me to talk about ones that I want to sell. All right, yeah, thanks so much for watching. As always, team. I'll see you on the next one.